Hi everyone, my name is Brooks from Character Design Forge. This is a screen recording from a day that I started to design some game minions, and it's evidence of something that I wanted to talk about, which is the days when you feel like you can't draw. Now there's two things that I want to talk about. Now the commonly held mantra is that the only way you're going to get better is by drawing every day, right? And you should really be sticking with that. But there's circumstances where you go a little while without drawing something. And that was my situation with this. For several days before starting this, I had been working on building a website, and it took all the time that I had. And at a certain point, I just wanted to get the website done, so I focused all of my time on it. When I got the free time and the idea to sit down and record this process, my head was in the right place. I had an idea of what I wanted to put down, but you know what? By my personal standards, what I ended up drawing was just really lackluster. And there's a reason for that. I really didn't do any drawing exercises going into this. I've got another video, the one about 5 tips for drawing better, where I talk about the warm-ups that you can do. And I didn't do them in this case because we had an appointment somewhere afterwards. I really jumped the gun in order to start this. The other thing that's evidenced here is not having a strong enough idea for a character before starting. And these designs are kind of the preliminary, but I usually start in a sketchbook and get stronger shapes. But what I realized after finishing them was that I was designing characters for a video game that were going to be obstacles in the way of the protagonist, and I hadn't drawn the protagonist yet. So the minions should really be a reaction to the protagonist, and I didn't even have that yet, so it was sort of half-baked already. The other important thing is that I hadn't drawn for several days here, and that's really important to note. It's no different than anything else. It doesn't matter how good you are at something. If you go a while without doing it, you're going to be a little bit rusty. You've probably seen this with, appropriately for the subject matter here, a video game that you're super good at, or you were, but you come back to it after a while and you're not at peak potential. It takes some practice. The thing is, if you're not drawing every day, this is going to happen to you. The best advice I can give you is to not get frustrated. If and when this happens, as frustrating as it can be to say this really isn't my best work, what happened, I used to be so good, just embrace it. Do some warm-ups, get the ideas that you have down, do as much drawing as you can for the day, and maybe revisit the work or the concept in the next day or so, and see how much better it's going to be. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that I guess this is considered by some to be a vulnerable thing to be doing, to be sharing work that I don't think is good. But the thing is, you might have the perception of a certain artist that just everything they put out is gold. And it's possible, they are extremely talented, but they are only sharing their successes. We have this thing where with something like Instagram, people are posting the highlights of their life, like the top 2%, without the mundane, the awful things, the problems, the tribulations that they're facing in their daily life. So we just see their new pet, their vacation photos, and we say, wow, my life is not as good as theirs. But that's not actually the case. You're just seeing the face of it. Most artists are making just as much bad stuff as you, and they're sharing the good stuff. I appreciate how candid one artist was, Chad Townsend. He posted a picture of some gesture drawings that he did one day, which I might add, I thought looked really good. And he said, I just can't draw today. I was out sick for 8 days, and it just feels like I can't do anything. Now, this was such a profound moment for me because I think of his work as great, and I looked down on myself that I didn't have this superpower to produce gold every time pencil hit paper. So if this is happening to you, don't panic. Don't get frustrated. If you're drawing every day as often as possible, and you're practicing, you're making progress. So embrace the fact that you're going to make a few bad drawings before you get some good ones. That's it from me today. All this month I've been creating daily videos on characterdesignforge.com, and this is the last week of daily videos, but I'm by no means stopping. There will continue to be at least weekly videos on characterdesignforge.com, and subscribing on YouTube will let you know when those videos are made available. As always, I'd love to hear your questions and comments, especially your struggles when it comes to being frustrated with art or character design like we're talking about here. Thank you for watching, and have fun creating.